Welcome to Fueled by Death Show. Hey, it's not just a podcast anymore. Get ready, the show's about to begin.
Welcome, everybody. Glad you're here. It's another Fueled by Death show. We've made it over 100 episodes. This is a companion episode to 101, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. Hi, D-Man.
Hi, Jeffrey.
We're really excited to be here. I am the Incredible Jeff.
Jeff doesn't speak for me. I'm not that excited to be here. I'm only mediocrely happy about it.
Says the amazing D-Man. If you guys want to follow us on social media, it's super easy to do so. It's at the bottom of the screen throughout the entire show. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin, and this wouldn't be a complete show if we didn't tell you to follow at Real Christian Slater over on Instagram. This message has been brought to you by the Church of Christian Slater. May the power be with the Slater.
Have you guys followed Christian Slater today? Have you told a random stranger to follow Christian Slater today? Please take a minute of your day to follow Christian Slater. Thank you for your time. And if you guys are just tuning in for the first time on this show and you're wondering why the hell we're talking about Christian Slater so much, we don't know. We don't have an answer for you.
No answer. Move on.
But we do try to give away something cool every single show. This show's no different. All you got to do is share this feed, drop a comment in those comments, join the conversation, and one lucky comment at the end of the show will win this industrial mug.
It's denim.
It's denim. D-Man and myself will sign it and send it right out to you guys.
I just had a great idea.
Okay.
If we ever meet Christian Slater in person,
Uh-huh.
At Real Christian Slater.
At Real Christian Slater.
Over on Instagram.
Yeah.
We should have a mug with us for him to sign and then give it away on the show.
Amazing. I'll tell you, I've seen...
maybe we can even send him a mug, have him sign it, and send it back.
I love it. I don't know if I told you this. I saw a couple comments on a recent show, and you guys might be in the comments right now, where people were saying that they're going to find out the next convention that Christian Slater is at and bring a Death Wish mug with them to get a photo taken with Christian Slater.
Oh my God, seriously.
And I love you guys so much for that.
Seriously. This is magical.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it all.
We're going to make it all happen.
Did we tell people to share and comment and stuff? I missed that. I zoned out for a second.
We did. Share and comment. One lucky comment at the end of the show will get this mug signed by D-Man and myself, the Denim Industrial Mug. We can't start the show, though, without thanking our good friend, Brock Powell.
BrockVox.com.
He's the voice actor on this show, 1,000 other voices in the world. We love him to death. We love voice acting, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the show as well. But I do want to say this show, if you guys are watching live, is coming out right on the eve of Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving Eve. If you're here watching the show and not out on the biggest drinking holiday in America.
Do you take part in that?
Thanks. No.
Me neither. That's just madness.
Yeah, it's madness.
I used to work it.
I know.
And it's insane. It especially gets insane when it snows out a bunch.
Yeah.
I hope it does because it's great.
I can't. It's not me. But, if that's you guys, more power to you. And hope maybe you're watching this show in syndication.
So the idea is that the people who are usually away that come back home, they want to get away from their families and go drink profusely so that they feel bad all through Thanksgiving. That's the point?
Right.
Okay.
Get the fights out of the way before the meal and the next day.
It's an aggression release process.
Something like that. I don't know. It is the largest drinking day in America above St. Patrick's Day and New Year's.
That's so insane to me.
Yeah.
People must really hate each other.
Yeah. I don't get it. But anyways, tomorrow, if you guys, like I said, if you guys are watching this live tomorrow, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And stick around because we got some really fun stuff on the show. Obviously, science. We're going to space. We got some fun stuff to talk about. The Death Star of the week you're going to meet. You're also going to get a sneak peek of tomorrow's podcast episode with our death guest.
And we roast a turkey.
Well, sort of. We're going to roast Thanksgiving.
Jeff.
I mean, we could have roasted a turkey. Wouldn't that be great to just show you guys, like, a time lapse of, 10 hours of just roasting a turkey?
Or maybe just, like, our cooking process of a turkey, so it turns into a little cooking show?
It would have just been
roast?
you smashing a turkey with a war club, I think, for a while.
How else do you prepare turkey, Jeff?
But yeah, stay tuned for all that. Plus, we're going to update you guys on all the amazing stuff that Death Wish Coffee is doing through the holiday. That's Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Super Saturday.
Who gives a fuck Sunday?
Cyber Monday. We got all those details and more, so stick around.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
This week until Wednesday, November 28th on deathwishcoffee.com. If you use the discount code Goofy Jeff, spell it.
GOOFY.
Good job, Jeff. If you use that code on deathwishcoffee.com, you'll get 15% off of all Death Wish coffee. That means the coffee itself, 1 pounders, 5 pounders, K-cups, however you take it, you can get 15% off if you use the discount code Goofy until Wednesday, November 28th.
Perfect time to stock up on coffee for the holidays if you need that extra bag. Like I said earlier, we're going to talk about a lot of our deals coming up for Black Friday and more, and this code will not work with any of that stuff. This is just an extra code that you're going to get with all those other deals and everything. So if you just, like I said, you need that extra bag of coffee, 15% off, can't beat it. All week long, use that code Goofy.
Science!
All right, D-Man, so I got 2 short stories basically about space that happened in the
Fiction
last
or
couple weeks.
nonfiction?
Oh, super nonfiction.
Cool.
Yes. The first is...
I thought it was story time for a second. I got excited.
The first is, I'm going to put up the link right here.
Wait, can you start it off with Once Upon a Time?
Once upon a time. I'm going to put the link up right here. Make sure you guys bookmark nasa.gov/NASA Live, because for the first time since 2012, on November 26th, if you go over to NASA Live, we can all watch something land on Mars.
Wow.
It's pretty rad. On Monday, November 26th, the landing of InSight is going to happen. So it's actually, the festivities are going to happen the Sunday before. So Sunday, November 25th at 1 p.m., there's going to be a news conference that's going to explain what InSight is and all about the mission parameters. And then at 4 p.m. that day, there's going to be a Q&A with a lot of the experts that are involved in the project. And then Monday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is when touchdown of InSight on Mars is going to happen. And I'm really excited. InSight was launched on May 5th. And if successful, it's going to be the first craft that we've seen touch down on the red planet since Curiosity did in 2012. And InSight's doing a lot of cool stuff. It's going to be the first spacecraft that's going to drill deep into the interior, and we're going to get a good look. Because Curiosity drills, but it drills 6 inches.
It just scratches the surface.
It really does. This, as you can see in this graphic, it's going to take heat flow probes down. It's going to have a lot of instrumentation to really get a good look at the deep interior of the planet. A lot of that we're still speculating on. We don't really know what's down there, what the crust is like, if it has a mantle, if it has all that kind of stuff.
And the most exciting thing about these projects is that we always find stuff we didn't expect, and I can't wait to talk about it here.
Me too. And the data is not only going to help us find out how the formation of this rocky world, this Mars, has happened. It's going to show us how our own planet formed. Oh. We're going to be able to take that data and cross-reference it with the data that we have of our own planet and really kind of see if there's any parallels, if there's any differences. Because a lot of people believe, myself being one of them, that billions of years ago, Mars had an atmosphere and water and was very much, I'm not saying that they were little green men, but it was very much a planet like our own right now. So we're kind of seeing into the past a little bit.
Whenever I think about this, it blows my mind because I think, of our infinite timeline of infinite possibilities, and one of those possibilities being humans living on Mars to begin with.
Yes.
And maybe something happening to where we had to move over to Earth would explain a lot of weird things. But hey, this isn't Ancient Aliens, and I'm not going to make those speculations, but it's fun things to think about.
It is. And I had a ton of fun in 2012 watching the landing of Curiosity because we didn't know if it was going to work. We tested it. We
never really know for sure.
I mean, you shoot this thing in a rocket from Earth and hope to God it's going to hit a planet and then land safely on that planet.
Yeah, there's somebody crossing their fingers at NASA.
Math. But I don't know did you watch the Curiosity landing?
No, I did not, Jeffrey.
The most famous guy from the Curiosity landing. Do you guys remember Mohawk Guy? Mohawk guy. I hope he's there at JPL again. This guy was the best. The camera kept cutting back to this guy. He was the only guy in the whole like thing that had the mohawk, and he like when it landed, he was the first one jumping up. He became an internet sensation.
I hope there's going to be a new guy, like face tattoo guy.
Me too. But it was really cool to watch it live and know that I'm watching something literally land on another planet live. So again, Monday, November 26th is landing day of the InSight project. Get ready for it. Bookmark that on your calendars. I'll put the link up one more time. It's nasa.gov/NASA Live. They're also gonna put that out on their YouTube page, their Facebook page. You'll be able to watch it all there, but the hub is right from nasa.gov. Can't wait. The other thing that I found, and actually it's funny, I love doing this science segment because I don't even have to do as much work anymore because a lot of you guys out there even tagged me in this story before I even saw it.
So cool. Thanks, guys.
A frozen super Earth has been found very, very close to our solar system, and that's pretty exciting. A potentially rocky super Earth orbits one of our closest stellar neighbors. It's called Barnard's Star, and it's only 6 light years away.
Oh, that's like around the corner.
We've been talking about super Earths and habitable planets tens, if not hundreds of light years away on this very show.
So relatively, it's extremely close.
Extremely close.
But
now,
there's no way we can get to it in a lifespan. Yeah.
Nope. We still don't have that technology, but we're getting closer and closer to be able to really, study this type of thing, which is really cool. Barnard's Star is a low-mass red dwarf star located in the constellation Ophiuchus. I don't know. A lot of those Greeks and Roman names in the constellations.
Ophiuchus?
Ophiuchus. I'll put it up here. You guys are all in the comments going, that's how you pronounce it. It's like, I don't know. You know me. I can't pronounce anything. At nearly 6 light years away, the star is the next closest star to the sun after the Alpha Centauri triple stellar system. This newly discovered planet named Barnard's Star B, which is a terribly lazy name, scientists get on it, is a super Earth. It's got a mass 3.2 times the size of Earth. It orbits around its parent star once every 233 days, so it has a shorter year than us, and lies in a distant region from the star known as the snow line. I didn't know about this. This is well beyond the habitable zone in which liquid water and possibly life could exist. But the planet's relatively wide separation from its star offers an even more promising and tantalizing possibility: the prospect of taking its picture. Now, we've talked about this before on the show of one of the new instruments that NASA put up called TESS.
Right.
And it is out there looking for exoplanets, looking for super Earths, looking for this type of stuff.
Is that how we found this one?
So we can photograph it. We actually have been pouring through data from Kepler looking for this. And if you guys have been fans of the show, we just recently talked about how Kepler is now no more. The mission has reached it.
But the amount of data that it found is huge.
Still.
And this is the stuff that we're pouring through now.
Right. So we might be able to get an actual clear snapshot of a super Earth using TESS and other instruments that we're going to be putting into orbit in the coming years. The snapshot of Barnard's Star B could reveal many otherwise inaccessible things. Most importantly, its true nature. A frozen super Earth, like we're thinking, because it's in that snow line? Or what about a hydrogen-swaddled greenhouse? The other thought process is that, yes, it might be too far away from the sun, and it's in that snow line, but we are picking up a lot of hydrogen. So what if it's this greenhouse effect, and it's just a ton of hydrogen kind of encasing it like a pillow and warming this super Earth?
It could be a giant rainforest.
Or, like you said earlier, it could be something we never even thought of. We might snap a picture of this super Earth, and scientists might go, well, that's new. Never thought of that.
The possibilities are really endless on something like this, and we could find something incredible.
Incredible. And I love it when we have just little tidbits like this, because it's like, what are we going to find?
But when we do find something, you'll hear about it here first on the Fueled by Death show.
Yeah, it's true. You will, or you'll hear about it second, because like I said, a lot of people tagged me in this. But thank you guys, and I love thinking about stuff like this, because who knows? 6 light years away, We might not be able to make there in a lifetime, but we could maybe make a probe there. Remember when we had physicist Dr. Michio Kaku on this very show, and he was talking about how one of the ideas
sending things on a laser with a laser sail.
Exactly, lasers with laser sails, and we could literally traverse great distances much quicker than sending a human in a spacecraft.
And these superhighways may already exist.
Right. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe we could find a super Earth like this, send a probe on a laser, and get there within your and my lifetime. And
Here's an idea. We send a probe on a laser, and it runs into another probe on a laser on the way here of creatures there looking for us.
To quote the great documentary Ghostbusters, don't cross the streams.
Good. It is a fully operational Death Star of the week.
My favorite bump, by the way.
Yes, I love it. I told Brock when we made that bump, just go Star Wars crazy, and he did. And I threw some effects in there,
and here's something you might not know. Brock actually does Star Wars voices for Star Wars toys. I'm allowed to talk about that, right?
Oh yeah, they've been out for a couple of years.
I didn't know if I was.
Yeah, some of the talking Star Wars toys out there, Brock has voiced many of them actually, and it's pretty cool. So we have,
and you can see why with a bump like that, because he just nails it.
So good. So welcome to another Death Star of the Week segment where we showcase one of you amazing fans out there. This week is no different. I'm going to bump it like I always do. If you're not a fan or friend of the official Death Wish Coffee Company community page over on Facebook, get on it, because a lot of these people are there already, and more every day. 4,000 strong.
Woo!
It's amazing. And if you guys have never met Terri Klinder, you're going to meet Terri right now. Terri, thank you so much for joining us on the Death Star segment. And I want to start where I always start, and I want to know, where did you hear about Death Wish Coffee? How did you find out about the coffee, the company? When was that?
Okay, well, I'll say I used to run a coffee shop.
Ooh.
And I sold the other brand. And and I took a new job running a print shop. So, I didn't have access to all that coffee. So I'm like, let's look for some new coffee and see what's out there, because you drink the same kind for so long and you just want to try something new. So I found you guys on the internet, of course. And I liked your story. I liked Mike's story. It was just really cool. I'm like, small business. Oh, awesome. And so I got a bag, and, the rest is history.
Awesome. So you were running a coffee shop then, so you're obviously a big coffee drinker. How much coffee do you think you consume a day? How many cups of coffee do you drink?
Well, I drink the canteen in the morning. And I drink one in the evening, after dinner. I like the Valhalla Java usually.
That's how I roll too. I like Death Wish is my morning brew, and Valhalla is like my evening brew, because they both have their own flavor notes and their own good properties to them. So that's really good. What's your favorite brewing method? What's your go-to brewing method?
Well, it's definitely the good old coffee pot with a timer.
Yes.
That way, wake up, that stuff is ready to go.
That's the way to go. I love that. I actually got one for my parents a couple years ago, and it's great. It grinds the beans and brews the coffee all for them right on a timer. It's the best.
It's great. Now I got this little baby right here. I got an espresso machine.
Look at that. That's a chemistry set.
Yeah, I love espresso.
Yeah.
So I have tried Death Wish, Valhalla, and the Irish cream. I made a latte with Irish cream. It was fantastic. But I did buy a Chemex, so now I'm on to that.
So. Oh, cool. Yes, still got to get a Chemex. But that's awesome. I'm a big espresso fan, too. I like a good cup of espresso. That's awesome that you got that set up there. So I see him in the back. I'm not even going to have to ask the question, but you are part of the mug life. You love the mugs. Do you remember what the first mug from Death Wish Coffee was that you got?
Well, I think it was 2016 camper mug.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so I wasn't in the mug life and all that till just like the last year and a half.
Really? Because it looks like you've been in there since the beginning. You got quite the collection behind you.
Well, I got a few as gifts, and I got that Yeti mug from that site that nobody liked.
Yeah.
But I had to have the Yeti mug, so it was a little expensive, but that's okay.
That's okay. I mean, it's a crappy way to go with that site, but it's so weird for us here at Death Wish Coffee because like when we started the idea of even making mugs, we're like nobody's gonna want these. Like, well, maybe a couple people will want them, and to see people like you who really like to collect them, it warms our heart. It really does.
And I like to drink out of them.
Yeah.
So if you're going to ask me what my favorite one is.
Oh, that was my next question.
So I have drank out of all the collector mugs.
Uh-huh.
At least once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite mugs are the meme mugs.
Yeah, they're such good mugs.
I drink out of these every day.
Good. I love those mugs because you don't feel like you're gonna break a Deneen one, like drinking out of them, throwing them in the dishwasher, throwing them around or whatever. And it's a lot of fun. We get to like whittle down our best performing memes and figure out which ones we're gonna put on the new mugs, and that's a lot of fun. So we're gonna keep doing those, I know, through 2019 as well.
They're gonna be all different colors, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. So that's really cool. So then I come to this question every time. I'm always curious to hear from the fan base at large. You are a fan of the company. You're a fan of the mugs. You're a fan of what we're doing and what we're brewing. Is there something that we haven't done that you'd like to see us try? It could be a mug. It can be an event. It can be a piece of merchandise. Is there anything that we haven't done that you want us to try?
And, oh, my goodness. I didn't think of an event. But I'll work on that. But I would love a phone case. My phone case has a sticker on it. And everybody's like, that's a cool phone case. And I'm like, I made it.
Aw. We should look into that.
Thing, if I may.
Oh, please. Yeah, no, give me a list.
Well, they also have these little ring things now, that you can stick on your phone.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Taya has one on her phone.
Yeah, and you guys have that cool pewter guy that does all that kick-ass, skull work. Yeah. Oh, I said a bad word, but
No, you're right. Frickin'.
That's cool to have one of those.
And just so you know, there's no bad words at Death Wish. We're a bunch of frickin' pirates over here. You can swear as much as you want. That's a great idea, is to do some stuff with phones. The only thing with phones that we've looked into before, it's like coming out with like jewelry. We've actually looked into doing jewelry too, and the amount of sizes that you'd have to do for like say rings or for phone cases or something like that, it starts to get really astronomical. But there are cool sites out there that like you can upload, like Redbubble, like you can upload graphics and then people can get cases made that way. So that might be something that we'll look into. I kind of really dig that idea because it always seems like as soon as you get your phone case and your new phone, then the new phone comes out and it's bigger or smaller than the last one, so you got to buy a new damn case, and it just
for real.
They know what they're doing. They want you to keep spending money, and I get it. But that's awesome. Yeah, no, I definitely think that's a good idea. And speaking of pewter, you brought it up, so I just want to say for everybody who's watching this segment too, that mug hook is coming. Speaking of mugs.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. With so much stuff we got coming out at the end of the year, I feel like some people have even forgotten about it, but it's right around the corner. I can't wait to release that because that's going to be a lot of fun to see people get and put like their favorite mugs on the hook,
Yeah, like Duke. He does his mug of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's kind of like what I was thinking too, because instead of obviously you're not going to be able to get, especially for someone like you who's got such a huge collection, you're not going to be able to get a mug hook for every mug, myself included. I'm going to get one, I think, and just be able to showcase one mug at a time and be able to kind of take it down and put up another one, kind of like a museum kind of thing, like,
mug of the week.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. I love it. Well, I can't thank you enough for taking time to talk to me today on the segment. It was a hell of a lot of fun talking with you.
Well, thanks so much. And hi, everybody out there in the mug world in the Death Wish Coffee Company.
Yay.
So thanks for everything, and thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
The Fueled by Death guest.
Oh, my God, guys. I am so excited for tomorrow's podcast episode. One of my literal heroes, Bill Farmer, is on the show.
Not only was it so cool to sit down with him, but afterwards, when we were showing interest into some of the things he was talking about, he pulled out his photo album. I wish we could show you guys that, but it was just one of those real moments that there weren't any cameras on. But
yeah.
So cool.
Such an amazing voice actor. This guy, Bill, has been the voice of Goofy since the mid-'80s. Goofy, Pluto, and that means all of the Disney properties, all the Disney toys, Goof Troop, the Goofy movie, another Goofy movie, all that kind of stuff. Incredible career that has spanned not only that, but 1,000 other things. He's done Warner Brothers voices. He was in Space Jam. Here's a fun fact. His first on-screen appearance was the reporter in RoboCop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Can we put that clip in here?
Sure,
Here
maybe.
you go. Here's a clip.
Terrorism has never been a factor in city politics before. We do believe that Miller has killed one of the hostages.
Hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. But we had such a good time. When we went out to L.A. recently, Bill invited us into his home. We had dinner, and we drank whiskey and watched horror movies and sat down and had an incredible conversation about voice acting from one of the greats. And I'm so excited for you guys to check out this episode in full tomorrow on Fueled by Deathcast, but I have a sneak peek with Bill right here. Like you said, you've gotten to do so many characters from Disney, from Warner Brothers, from additional stuff on all types of things.
A lot of Pixar movies.
A lot of
and
Pixar
Disney
stuff,
movies,
yeah. Has there ever been, and I love asking voice actors this, like, because you guys get to really stretch your craft, especially with directors and writing and that kind of stuff. Has there ever been a character that was tougher for you than others, where like something that really was like, not to say that you couldn't do it, but like really took more work than you thought would?
Oh, yeah. There's physical that take more work, and they're just physical, like I did something a long time ago where I was doing Wolfman Jack, if you remember the DJ.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby. I was down there doing that, Wolfman Jack sort of thing.
I love it.
And that can strain the voice physically after a while. Then there are the emotional ones. If they're like really screamy and heavy-duty emotional, which you don't have to do too much of in animation. Goofy movie was about the most emotional I can think of right offhand. But sometimes, it can get kind of taxing if staying also in a character you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
You have to kind of keep reminding yourself until it becomes sense memory on, okay, what would this character do and how would he say it and that kind of thing. Yeah. So sometimes it can get a little hairy once in a while if you don't know the character that well.
Coming up with your own original voice, I imagine that can be a little bit difficult as far as like the possibilities are endless, right?
Yeah.
But do you use like other influences, like maybe it's a little bit of this character mixed with this character mixed with this?
Absolutely, all the time. And sometimes you go on a gut feel. Other ones, like a lot of celebrities, especially from like 1930s and 40s, you can use again because people today don't know them. Yeah. Billy West, when he did Ren and Stimpy, with using Peter Lorre. Right. He had the voice like this with Peter. And then as Stimpy, you idiot, All it is taking that character that he knew and expanding on it. Yeah. And so a lot of times you'll do impressions, and that's one great way to come up with voices is to do impressions of people you don't do impressions of. No one knows who you're doing, but it's going to be something.
Yeah.
And you can use it.
One of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite voice actors outside of you actually is from Rob Paulson.
Yeah.
And I forget exactly how he says it, but it's he says that he does a lot of bad impressions of you know, famous people, and that is what turns into some of his most iconic characters.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. When I first came out here, I took classes from Dawes Butler, who's a great voice actor who did all the Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, like, Yogi Bear was a guy he knew in Chicago that he did a bad impression of. Hey, boo-boo, how's it going? And Huckleberry Hound was a cousin of his in North Carolina, so he was just doing that voice. And on Mickey and the Roadster Racers, I do about 12 different characters on that show.
Whoa.
And one is the mayor, who is basically, he kind of has a voice that sounds kind of like this, who I'm basically doing Frank Morgan from The Wizard of Oz. And so that's my Frank Morgan impression. And then there's Mr. Bigby, who's very foghorn, kind of foghorn leghornish, you know, very similar to that. And there was another one, Mr. McBilly, who I'm basically doing Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
And then kind of every once in a while, hey, that's really bad, you know, and stuff like that. So you play with these things.
Happy birthday! Surprise! I'm naked.
All right, guys, birthday time. So let's jump right into it. On Thanksgiving, Thursday, November 22nd, a very happy 60th birthday to Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, she's the quintessential scream queen, as they put it. Oh, he's allergic to Jamie Lee Curtis.
I'm not. I promise I'm not. I love True Lies.
I love True Lies, one of my favorite movies. But
She has that scene.
Yeah, but
Woo!
obviously, everybody knows her from Halloween.
Yeah, of course.
And just reprised her role in the brand new one, which I haven't seen yet. I really want to see it.
Have you guys seen that yet? What do you think?
I've heard mixed stuff, but I really still I love the franchise. I gotta check it out. Couple fun facts about Jamie Lee that I don't know if you knew, D-Man. One, her mom is Janet Lee, who was the chick in Psycho.
Oh.
So they both are scream queens in a very sense.
I wonder if she got the role because of connections with her mother.
No, in fact, when she's talked about it multiple times, when she broke into Hollywood, she distanced herself from that. She didn't want to do that.
Huh.
And she auditioned because she liked what John Carpenter was doing, wanted to do something like that, and auditioned without ever saying, hey, here's my accolade, kind of thing. It came out later.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
good for her.
Good for her. And she's also, since I think the 80s, has been married to Christopher Guest, who's an incredible director, screenwriter, and actor. You probably know him as Nigel from This Is Spinal Tap. He's the guy who's like, mine goes up to 11.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's her husband.
Is he British?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So happy birthday to her. On Saturday, November 24th, friend of the show, very happy birthday to Mr. Blasco. Yeah, love Blasco to death. He's the bassist for Zach Sabbath. He's the bassist for Ozzy Osbourne. He's been the bassist for probably every favorite
Rob
metal
Zombie?
record you've heard.
Astro Creep.
Yeah, incredible musician.
By the way, so good live.
Yeah.
I mean, not only is he a performer and he's entertaining to watch and he rocks out on stage and that's fun to watch, he's extremely tight, extremely talented.
Coming from a bassist.
The dude doesn't hit a wrong note in the way that even how long the note is held out is perfect.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love this guy.
Yeah, we love Blasco to death. And if you guys like Blasco, we had him on way, way, way back in the very beginning of Fueled by Deathcast. I believe it was Fueled by Deathcast episode 4. We had Blasco on the show.
Jeff, you're showing a picture with a Monster Energy drink. I can't allow this.
Oh, it is hiding back there.
Can we blur that?
I guess.
I can't. Show's over!
Oh, my goodness gracious. But anyway, happy birthday to Blasco on Saturday. Love Blasco so much. On Monday, November 26th, another friend of the show, America's canine educator, Thomas Davis, is celebrating his birthday on Monday. Again, if you guys want to go back and listen to that episode, I'll put that link up. When we had Thomas Davis on, we talk about what it's like to be basically a dog whisperer. This dude is incredible at not only being able to educate your dog, but educate humans who own dogs as well.
Just one of those people who seem to have an endless well of knowledge when it comes to a topic like this and is just bursting with it. It's really, Really introspective guy. Very cool. Very
and
intelligent.
Pictured here with his dog, Poe, who we also interviewed on the show. Love that dog.
Also extremely intelligent, extremely introspective.
Yeah.
So introspective, he's not outrospective whatsoever.
And if you guys are interested more about America's Canine Educator and educating dogs.
He has his own
and dogs.
podcast, yeah.
Yep, No Bad Dogs podcast. I'll put that link
Which
up
is
too.
great, by the way. I listen
Love
to it
that.
every now and then.
Yeah, it's
especially
really, really
when right before I got my dog, I wanted to like touch up on some training method.
Yeah.
And just even taking away a couple nuggets of knowledge goes a long way with this guy.
Love Thomas Davis. Finally, Tuesday, November 27th. Bill. Happy birthday to Bill Nye. I thought you were going to come with me. You didn't come with me on that one. Nope. All right. Well, happy birthday to Bill Nye. He's turning 63, obviously from Bill Nye the Science Guy. One of the reasons that science is so instilled in me is Bill
Same.
Nye, for sure. Him and Mr. Wizard when I were kids.
Mr. Wizard.
When I was a kid.
I will never forget Mr. Wizard.
I mean, there's four things from child programming as a child that got me into science, and that's Bill Nye, Mr. Wizard, Sesame Street, and I lost the fourth one.
Oh well.
Yeah, Bill Nye.
Nobody cares
nobody
anymore.
Care. But no, but that's
I remember Mr. Wizard would even break down the science of why people sang in the shower.
Yes.
I remember that one specifically. But yeah, Bill Nye was always there as a kid, always entertaining, and is still entertaining and intelligent today, doing debates and whatnot, and is not actually a scientist. But we still love him anyways.
In fact, if you haven't checked out his show on Netflix, Bill Nye Saves the World, it's very, very interesting. It's very much in the same vein as Bill Nye the Science Guy, but much more towards adults and not just children and adults now. He swears a little bit on it. And,
oh my God!
He had Kevin Smith on one episode talking about smoking marijuana and
oh,
yeah, it's pretty
that's
fun.
Drugs, Jeff.
Drugs. But yeah, happy birthday to Bill Nye. Happy birthday to everybody this week.
I smell a roast.
Does it smell like a turkey? We're roasting a turkey.
Oh, we sure are. One last time, guys, if you haven't done it yet, make sure you share this episode and drop a comment in that comment section, because one lucky comment after the show will be picked to win this industrial mug signed
It's
by
got a
King
turkey in it.
It does not. It really doesn't, guys. That false advertising.
I told you.
No turkeys. But yeah, so on the roast this week, I wanted to roast Thanksgiving because like we do with a lot of the holidays around here, we like to not only roast them, but also kind of dive into them a little bit more because there's so much that I don't know about stuff like that. Like we all know the romanticized version of the holiday, the one we learned in elementary school, you know, like colonial settlers broke bread and had corn and had maize and cornucopias with the Native Americans to celebrate the harvest. And then it kind of became a national holiday with a big parade in New York City, right? Like that's like basically what, you know, we do the hand turkey and put that on a wall and yeah. Like that's the elementary school thing. So I did some digging and I learned a lot about this holiday I had no idea about.
I can't wait to hear about it.
All
Jeff.
right. First, the first Thanksgiving, the actual first Thanksgiving in America did not take place in 1621 in Plymouth. It took place in Texas.
Oh, that's...
Weird, right?
Yeah.
In 1541, this dude, Francisco Vasquez de Coronado, everybody had freaking great names back then, and his expedition held a Thanksgiving celebration in Palo Duro Canyon in the Texas Panhandle.
Huh.
And it was literally a feast between the natives and his troops, and they broke bread, and it was like giving thanks.
Were they fighting before that, or how's that work?
Yeah, everybody was fighting. You know, I mean, like the Native Americans, whether it's Central or North or South or whatever, were fighting the people who were coming across on boats and being like, I think we're going to live here now.
Imagine how...
I don't think so.
Imagine how interesting that must have been to like, okay, guys, let's relax for a second. Nobody's going to lose out if we just sit down and have a fucking meal together.
Right?
But it must have been just so intense, just sitting there across the table, like, all right, guys, don't start cliques. Let's all mix it up. Let's go native, us, native, and okay, and
boy, girl,
boy, girl.
Yeah. Well, so I didn't know that at all. But then, honestly, what the holiday really stems from is that initial feast in Plymouth in 1621. But nearly all of what historians have learned about that first Thanksgiving in New England comes from a single eyewitness report, a letter written in December of that year by Edward Winslow. He was one of the 100 or so people who sailed from England aboard the Mayflower in 1620 and founded Plymouth Colony in Massachusetts. Then after that, William Bradford, Plymouth's governor in 1621, wrote briefly of the event on the Plymouth plantation, his history of the colony, and more, but that was more than 20 years after the feast itself that he wrote this.
Oh, weird. So
he wrote that in 1640.
And who knows if his recollection was even
right.
close.
And this initial feast did not take place on the fourth Thursday of November like it does in the national observance that we have it today. It actually would have taken place 3 days in between late September and mid-November of 1621 because it was considered a harvest celebration. The colonial people that came over on the Mayflower that entire year had been working with the Wampanoag Indian tribe. Squanto was a part of that. He could speak English at this point. So that he was like the person who was like the liaison, and both groups were helping each other with their harvest. So at the end of the harvest, this whole Indian tribe would have been around this area, so it would have been just kind of in the same vicinity. Hey, we're in the neighborhood. Let's all have a dinner kind of thing.
Right.
Is how that would have happened. But just over 50 colonists would have attended this dinner. That was because they were also celebrating surviving their first year in New England. Over 3/4 of the people who came over in that initial thing died, and 78% of those people were women. Whoa. At the original feast, there was only, by the record of this one eyewitness, there was only 4 housewives, married housewives, that attended this feast. So again, that romanticized version of all the women cooking the food and the men, the Indians and the men were, shaking hands and stuff like that. No, pretty much everybody cooked the food because it was about 150 people. The chief, his name was Massasoit, the great king of the Wampanoag, brought over 90 Native Americans to this, and there was less than 50 colonists.
Whoa.
So, it was a big dinner. And I'm sure everybody pitched the hell in to feed everybody. It wasn't just like, let's leave it to these poor 4 women to do this. I had no idea about that. But times were tough back then.
Yeah.
For sure.
Crazy. Could you imagine coming over and trying to settle and then losing almost everybody, thinking that you might be the next one?
Right.
And then you actually get to the end of the harvest and you're like, oh my God, we're going to fucking make it.
Again, by that one account, it was counted that there was almost 20 children and teenagers at this as well. And that is a huge, huge thing for history because those kids went on to continue to populate these colonies. You know what I mean? I mean, think about how hard it was for a woman or a man to make it through that winter. A child, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Because you're much more susceptible to diseases.
Imagine how hardy they were.
Yeah.
They probably came out made of leather.
Yeah, for sure.
Jesus.
And then after, so I learned about all that kind of stuff, which really puts a damper on the traditional Norman Rockwell painting of Thanksgiving.
Nobody likes that shit anyways. We want to hear the real story, right? The people dying, the only 4 women.
Craziness.
That's the shit we really want to hear.
So here's some other random facts I found out that I just thought was absolutely crazy.
Oh, they're breaking. I thought they were touching little spoons together. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
It's the wishbone there. The holiday didn't gain prominence actually until the 19th century. It was actually posed to President Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, when he was president, and he went on record saying that was the most ridiculous thing he's ever heard was to make Thanksgiving a national holiday.
Why?
I don't know. He just thought it was silly. Whereas President Washington, when George Washington was president, actually encouraged Americans to celebrate the idea of Thanksgiving, but wasn't pushing for it to be a national holiday. It wasn't until the 19th century when a magazine editor, by the name of Sarah Josephia Hale, pleaded with President Abraham Lincoln to make it a national holiday, not only to celebrate Thanksgiving, but to use it as a way to ease the tensions from the Civil War.
Yeah.
And Lincoln thought it was a great idea, so he did. Another fun fact about Sarah Hale there, she wrote Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All three notes.
Yeah, all 3 notes. The food at that initial feast, which were always, like I said, the cornucopias and, pots of potatoes and turkey and stuff like that.
What is a cornucopia, Jeff? What is it? A gourd?
No, it's like a thing of hay, I think.
Oh, you
that
make
you stuff
it?
with stuff. Yeah, you make it.
Oh, so it's like a bowl made of straw?
Yeah, I think.
Wow.
So the traditional feast that we know today, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, that makes
I'm not
sense.
saying that there might not have been turkeys because turkeys were in the forest, but it probably might have been a turkey for those 150
probably
people.
like deer.
Fish. Shellfish and fish were the prominent proteins because they were a fishing town.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so like that's what they were eating, 100%.
Weird.
A lot of corn because that's what they were harvesting.
Maize.
Leeks, cucumbers, onions. There was a lot of that going on.
They must have had
there.
potatoes going on.
No potatoes. Potatoes weren't grown in
What? This is a roast officially.
Potatoes weren't grown in the area until years later. So they were working on that crop. That crop hadn't been integrated yet. So I'm sorry, but I know it's ruining your whole idea. My favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner is the potatoes.
I love sweet potatoes, by the way. Those candied yams. Oh, get in my fucking face. They're so good.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
Mm-hmm. So that's pretty interesting. Another thing about that original feast, and then one of the staples of
they had green bean casserole though, right?
Of course they did. Yeah, of course they did. Put it in those little trays
with the little onion straws.
Yeah, of
definitely.
Course. Another thing that's a staple in American tradition of Thanksgiving is cranberries or cranberry sauce. More than likely, that was not in the initial feast either. It was, if anything, would have been used as a garnish.
Wow.
Because cranberries were used completely differently back then. The Native Americans also taught the colonists to do this as well.
Throw them away because they're garbage.
No, they used them to treat wounds.
Oh, ooh.
And they also used them to dye their arrows and dye their clothing.
Oh, weird.
So they actually utilize cranberries completely different than to actually, cook and eat them.
Yeah, because they taste like garbage. It makes sense. I mean, you ever have like organic cranberry juice and you drink it and you're like, oh, that's bad, and then it washes away and you're like, did I just vomit?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
And honestly, the only thing good out of cranberries is that fake cranberry out of a can sauce shit that you slice up into little discs.
Yeah, well, that's because it's filled with sugar, and that's why
it's not. It's like 1% cranberries.
Yeah,
because cranberries taste disgusting. You get the real stuff, and you're like, oh boy, this looks good.
You just roasted cranberries.
That's what I'm doing, Jeff. Get out of my way. I'm sorry. Go on. I'm gonna get off.
No. I got a couple other fun facts that I had no idea. The first ever, we love this on this show, space. The first ever meal that was eaten on the moon by Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong was a turkey dinner.
Oh.
Obviously freeze-dried turkey with all the fixings, but still, that's what that's what they requested in their menu, and they had that. They literally ate that on the moon. So first food to ever. So turkeys can't fly, but they've been to the moon. Crazy. Here's one last thing before I get into the final part of this roast. I thought this was crazy. So in 1953, Swanson, which you probably have heard of this company, they overestimated the number of frozen turkeys that they thought they would sell on Thanksgiving by 26 tons.
Yeah, that's time to liquidate. I know that as an inventory manager. That's
Yeah.
non-moving inventory, and it's also perishable.
Right.
So they probably had to do some sort of mega deal.
Nope. They cut them up, repackaged them, repurposed them, and now, today, we can thank them for creating the TV dinner.
No way.
That's the first TV dinners were turkey, and still to this day, you can get a Swanson turkey TV dinner.
It's probably still from the 26 tons. It tastes like it.
Finally, one of the biggest things that has happened since the inception of the holiday is the Macy's Day Parade. I love watching the parade every year and making fun of all the cold people on the sidelines and all the crazy Broadway plays and shows and the horrible
Does that mad old
singers.
dude still do it?
Mad old dude.
You know, the two announcer people.
Oh, yeah, all of them are still
one of
doing
them's
it.
like
Except for Matt
100.
Lauer.
Why? What?
He got me too'd.
Yeah,
But
we don't want him around.
Macy's Day Parade every year in New York City, watched by over 50 million people worldwide. Another thing I always laugh at is they always get like pop stars or country stars to sing on the floats.
Yeah.
But it's obviously pre-recorded and pre-taped, but they never give them good enough in-ears, so they're never synced up right. Those
it's
poor
beautiful.
bastards, they're trying so hard. But
That's beautiful.
It's just the worst. The best is when they have like Sesame Street come out and sing, because it's just puppets, and they look the best. They kill it. Go Sesame Street. But here's a fun fact about the parade, and I'll end on this. I thought it was interesting. It began in 1924, and for the first 3 years of the parade, it was actual live animals: tigers, goats, bears, elephants.
Tell me it went
zebras.
wrong.
It didn't necessarily go wrong, but after 3 years,
I don't believe it. A tiger fucking got loose.
after 3 years of having to clean up all the shit and everything from all these animals and have to deal with all these animals and like literal tigers like roaring at children and all that crap, they were like, you know what? Let's try balloons. And ever since then, it's been balloons.
I don't believe it. I'm sure something got loose and made people Thanksgiving.
The balloon that's been there the longest. Do you know the balloon that's been there the
No,
longest?
I don't know anything about the
Snoopy.
Macy's Day Parade.
Snoopy
Oh,
has
yeah.
been in more parades than any other balloon, thanks to Charles Schultz and the Peanuts gang there.
I bet it stinks. I bet
No,
they,
they
blow that thing up and
update
like,
them all. They update them all the time. But yeah, the balloons have grown and grown and grown to the point now where some of them require over 100 people to walk them down, and they all have pilots. They all have pilots that pilot them as well. It's crazy. It's a crazy endeavor.
I
to
think
do
I
some
know
of
my
that
calling,
stuff.
Jeff.
Oh man. So a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you had some fun going down the roast, because I learned a lot about this holiday I had no idea about.
I'm gonna forget it all tomorrow.
Yeah, because you know why? Because we're all gonna be in a food coma.
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
It's finally here, D-Man.
The Death Wish turkey, the world's strongest turkey.
Try to bite into this motherfucker.
You can. It's strong.
Oh, no, but it's the mug we've been all waiting for forever. I mean, we announced this back in the spring, I think. When we found out we were going to the International Space Station, we announced this mug. Space Mug, guys, tomorrow. If you guys are watching this show live, it's out tomorrow, Thursday.
Glaze,
The
man.
Galaxy Glaze, guys. If you guys were a subscriber, you were able to get it today on Wednesday, but we're going to have some left over on Thursday, and when they're gone, they're gone. A run of 5,000, guys. This one is selling out so quick.
So many blues and purples and just, oh my God.
20
this looks
ounces
so awesome.
of Galaxy amazingness.
Can you hear that?
yeah.
It's so much space in there.
Oh, God, I'm so excited about this mug, guys. I'm excited for you all to get it and post pictures of it. It's coming out tomorrow. We've told you a million times to get ready for it. We've told you about the text message. We've told you about becoming a subscriber so you get it that day early. If you miss out on this mug, I'm sorry. We tried to get it in your hands. If you miss out on it, we did our best, and we got more mugs coming out before the end of the year, so you guys will be able to
Not more of these, though.
Not more of these. When these are gone, these are gone.
That's what makes them so special, people.
I do want to go down, and we are putting this show out right on the heels of Thanksgiving, and I do want to go down. Obviously, this is the biggest shopping moment of the year.
I'm so excited.
And what better thing to get as a present for that holiday season than some coffee or some coffee-related merchandise? So, real quick, guys, Black Friday. First and foremost, we're doing some fun stuff on Black Friday. If you're waiting, I'm going to say it one more time. If you're waiting to get the space mug on Black Friday, don't. They'll be gone. They'll be gone, 100%. But Black Friday, we're going to have some really cool deals. We're going to have some random gift codes coming your way. And we're going
the biggest mug deal you can get this year.
Yep, biggest mug deal we've
Nothing
done.
to do with Space Mug.
Again, because it'll be sold out. It'll be sold out. But there's going to be a deal on a lot of our other mugs, and you guys aren't going to want to miss that, especially if you're a mug collector or you want to give one away as a gift on the holiday season. Perfect time to do it. Black Friday. Now, after Black Friday, it used to be called Small Business Saturday. Now I think it's called Super Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just another day that you can throw money at your computer screen and buy things. And
I haven't tried that yet. You literally just you don't want to use coins though, right?
No, you'll scratch your screen. So Super Saturday, we're doing something pretty special. We actually talked about it on this show earlier, but we're going to run it all down for you. I actually have it right here.
Jeff, we just touched hands by accident. I hope you know that. We're lovers now.
So this is the Death Wish Coffee backpack made by the same people who made our duffel bag. It's really rad.
What could be in here?
You want to dump it out, don't you?
I'm not going to dump it out.
You can. Death cups. So there's going to be a way on Super Saturday where you're going to be able to go to deathwishcoffee.com and please be careful. And you're going to see a new product. And that product is going to be buy 100 death cups and you're going to get this backpack. We're not going to put them loose. We just wanted to have fun and
let
play
me
around with them.
clear that up. This is a Death Cup backpack extravaganza. What that means is you get this as a package deal. It is its own product.
Yeah.
Which means if you buy 100 Death Cups on their own, you're not getting this backpack unless you buy the product of the backpack with 100 Death Cups.
And you'll see it right on deathwishcoffee.com. You'll see the 100 Death Cups plus free backpack as the product, and that's the product you're going to want to get. And this is really limited. There are less than 700 of these backpacks. Really great. They're padded. Lots of pockets. There's even a little space for your laptop in there. It's a really, really cool little bag. Again, a great gift, and you get to stock up on death cups for doing it.
Can you juggle, Jeff? I can't juggle. Jeff can juggle. I didn't know that.
But yeah, so look for that on Saturday. Those will go probably quick. I mean, it's the best of both worlds. You get 100 death cups, and you get a free bag. Again, we're not gonna put them all in loose. We just were having fun with it. I like
this bag. It's a good little. They call it the commuter bag, and
Yeah.
it's exactly that. It's just enough to hold the things you need.
Yep.
You're not overstuffing it with like 10 shirts and 15 books.
And it's got a killer Death Wish patch right there.
Nice
Great.
and embroidered. That's
Embroidered.
not a patch.
Yeah.
It's embroidered.
Yeah, exactly. So that's coming on Saturday. Finally, to end out the week, there's the No One Gives a Shit Sunday. So we're not doing anything on Sunday.
Because no one gives a shit.
Because no one gives a shit. And Cyber Monday is the final deal day. And on Cyber Monday, we're going to have an incredible discount store-wide. You guys are going to want to wait for that. And we're going to have a way to get a brand new product.
Oh, shit. What do we got? Ooh, that looks like a nice knit beanie, Jeff.
It's super comfy. It's coming out on Monday. You'll be able to add this on to your purchase. And got a bunch of them. If you live in the colder regions, it'll be perfect to keep your ears cold or your ears warm. Yeah, keeps your ears cold. It's the worst product ever. No, it's not.
By the way, we tried about like 10 different beanies.
We really did. Like, it was great. We had like a ton of beanies in the office one day. And we're all trying them on and being like, this one's soft, but it's too rigid. And this one smells funny. And this one,
none of them smelled funny. I just want that to be known. None of them smelled funny.
It's really, really cool hat. Finally, I just want to tell you guys, we love our customer service team. And I know you guys out there love our customer service team too. They're going to be working through the holidays to help you guys out with whatever you need. But just know that it is the holiday season. So
please be patient.
Please be patient. Obviously, shipping is going to take a little bit longer. And, even though customer service will be working through some of these days, hopefully they're going to take some time off for the holidays.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll just chain them to the desk, and when they're done, we might let them free range customer service.
Exactly. So be patient with those guys, and I hope you guys all have a happy holiday season and a happy Thanksgiving. And that's the show, everybody. We're back. We're back in normalcy. It's Felt good. It felt good to do a good show. Companion show to 101. Don't forget, tomorrow, tune into that podcast, Fueled by Deathcast, episode 101, with voice actor Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy. I can't wait for you guys to hear this conversation. It was so much fun. One final time, if you guys want to follow us on social media, it's super easy. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
And thanks so much for coming to the show, for sharing the show, for dropping those comments in the comment section. Well, nice. We'll be back next week with a brand new show, another chance to win something cool, and a lot more fun. Bye, guys.
Cheers.